So go ahead and introduce yourself. Thanks. I'm glad that we could do this. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what got you started in real estate.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me, Josh. Happy to be here. I'm Natasha Reneau Jones with the Reneau Group at Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. And a little bit about me. I mean, I'm a small town girl from San Luis Obispo that made her dreams happen in the big city. So I'm out here in Los Angeles County. That is primarily what I cover, all of Southern California, but majority of my business is in Los Angeles County. My sister and I actually are in business together. We recently came in business together. So we are now the Reneau Group. We specialize in luxury and investment properties. And what brought me to real estate? Honestly, it was maybe about 4 years ago, and I was always very entrepreneurial, and I don't know, I was just intrigued. I just remember seeing something with Rich Dad Poor Dad, so Robert Kiyosaki, and I remember seeing, oh, what's this wholesaling? What is this wholesaling about? I was really intrigued by it. Investing in real estate without having to put any money down. So that's kind of what spiraled into me looking more into what real estate was about. It's funny because our mother actually wanted us to purchase property when we were in college, but we just never paid attention to it. I remember she would ask us all the time, like, hey, I'll help you guys. Let's put something down on a property. But it just was never of interest. But, when I came to find, I don't know when the light switch, why it went on so much later, but once that happened, I started looking into it. I started making relationships with investors and kind of working underneath them, just soaking up all of their knowledge. And I also had a relationship with an agent friend that told me that I need to get my license in order to be able to make more money. Since I'm forming these relationships with these investors and, I'm helping them find properties, why not bring them the properties and then resell it for them after they fix them up and make them beautiful? So
Sure.
I did wholesaling for a while, and then I had actually went into business with my husband, and I actually started doing marketing for him because my background comes from marketing and public relations. So I started doing marketing for his retirement company, and we had actually ended up separating. And at that point in time, I kind of said, well, what else am I going to do right now? I might as well get my license. And that's what prompted me to get my license. And from there, I said, I have no plan B. I just have to put my head down, and I just focused. And, I'm also a mother too. So I had to, that also I feel like is what drove me a little bit as well, because I had to provide for this little one. But yeah, I had no plan B. I just put my head down. And I actually ended up doing pretty well my first year, and being one of the top agents in my office, which was a blessing.
Wow.
And I owe it all to God, I just put, it was all based on faith and learning and being a student. So, and that's what brought me here today. And today, me and my sister, we have formed our own group, and we are working with sports and entertainment clients and in the luxury space, but we help everyone. We really have a passion for helping people get to their goals in real estate and really educating them through it. So, and that's really our sole mission, while adding convenience.
Sure. Now, as far as starting with wholesaling and working with investors, and it seems like you have a good balance of working with luxury listing clients and then also the investors. What have you found to be the case in the LA County area as far as the investment options that are there, and how are the investors reacting to 2020 real estate, because this is definitely a different kind of a marketplace. So what do you see the investors responding with, and then also for your luxury clients, has the inventory increased? Has it decreased? What's kind of the pulse on your market?
Right. So there's kind of two folds to it. You have your residential side and then your commercial side. So on the residential side, inventory is still extremely low. I mean, you're seeing probably about 20 buyers to one home. That's kind of the case right now. So, and on your, I would say under $1 million, you are seeing roughly on average anywhere between 5 to 7 offers. And then over $1 million, you're seeing anywhere on average from 3 to 4 offers on a property. So everyone's getting multiple offers. It doesn't really matter, what the property is, because there's so many buyers out. The demand is so high that sometimes people are just purchasing because they have the opportunity to have a property at a low mortgage rate that they'll be able to keep for long term, and that to them is gold. So you're seeing, I would say there is a difference in the condo space as opposed to single family home. I feel like condos are sitting on the market a little longer, and then single family homes, once they come on market, they're being snatched up within days. Also more land. People want properties with more land. So you are seeing people gravitate more towards the suburb areas or even really, really hot neighborhoods. But if there's a large lot, and it might be funny to you because, San Luis Obispo is a lot different than out here, but a large lot out here is considered about 6,000 square feet. So if you're able to get that out here, it's gold, and people will spend a lot of money for it. Now on the commercial side, it's a little tough because, as you know, there's different parts of commercial. So there's multifamily, and then there's, like strip malls and retail space and things of that sort. So I'm kind of dabbling in a little bit of both. And on like the multifamily side, you're actually seeing people that are still wanting to pick those properties up for some reason. And we do have a percentage. I don't know what the percentage is. I actually need to look into that in regard to who's paying, the percentage of people that are actually still paying their rent. But I have had people who have inquired with me in regards to multifamily properties, and actually they are, when they go on, I put a duplex on market that sold within 7 days. So people are still purchasing these properties because they're taking advantage of, I think more so the mortgage rates that they're getting today. Because if it's a buy and hold, it's a long-term game plan. So in that sense. Now, on the other side, commercial properties that hold retail tenants and things of that sort, those aren't doing as well as you could imagine, because everyone's working from home and they have vacant units, or the units they are renting for, less than market value. So you are seeing a little bit of a hit in pricing on that end, but it's completely different in regards to the residential space. Everything is going up, and it's actually Southern California is up about, the average price is up about 12%. And actually Los Angeles County, we've actually reached up to 19% average price from last year. So things have definitely risen significantly. The real estate market is definitely carrying the economy right now, I feel like, in a way. But yeah, it's pretty healthy. So as far as investors though, I have two different types. I have some that are going they were prior to this election that was happening, they were going very bullish. Even once we had the lockdown in March, a lot of them did put things on pause, but then a month later, a lot of them ramped up really hard because they saw kind of the trend of what was happening with there not being any inventory and buyers coming on the market and sweeping these properties up. So buy and hold investors are taking advantage of deals they might be able to get, or even the mortgage interest rate, the return that they're going to get, especially if the building is vacant. And then investors that are wanting to flip properties, they have been going very strong all throughout this time. Some are not wanting to now, I have heard, and that's more in the luxury space. They feel that, with Biden being in office, prices might calm down a little bit, and that's just kind of been an opinion on the luxury end as far as luxury developers. So I'm just kind of sharing what I've been hearing, from talking to these different people.
In LA County as a whole, it seems, at least for me too, in the Central Coast, there's a shift, and you touched on it as far as the suburban or a little bit more land, that 6,000 square feet or larger. People want a little bit of space, a little bit of elbow room because they're spending more time at home, let's say. As far as LA County, where are you seeing a shift, especially in the buyers there? Where are they moving to? What's a hot area? I know you work in the Long Beach area as well. How are those coastal areas doing versus other areas? And then also, if the sellers are moving, are they staying in LA County or are they moving out of state? Because I've seen a lot of that here, where we're having a few transplants coming from the big city. Because they can work from home, they're saying, hey, let's go to San Luis Obispo County. And then you might be seeing in LA County some people who've been waiting to get their hands on something in a different area of LA they're kind of moving in a particular direction because they see that opportunity with the lower interest rates. And if they've been thinking about it, this has really made them move in that direction. So what do you see as like a hot area for buyers? And then where do you think the sellers, or where have you seen the sellers go to?
Right. So, you kind of hit it on the head. Actually, a lot of sellers are going out of state. A lot of them are going out of state due to, what's happening, and they're able to stay home. So, or, family is located here. There's just been a variety of reasons that I've heard, but out of state also, kind of upgrading to, like you said, upgrading to where they really would like to be, kind of their dream area. And I'm trying to think. I know as far as what would be considered a hot area, and I work the Long Beach area, but I also work, all over Los Angeles. So to be honest, there's so many hot spots, so many. Another hot spot I would say is kind of in the Valley, Encino, Sherman Oaks, because it's close enough to Los Angeles, but still grants you these large lots for, large lots and large homes, still for under $5 million. Whereas if you were to go to the Beverly Hills area or West Hollywood, you're gonna, end up paying double that. As far as beach cities, people are taking advantage of Long Beach, to be honest. They're taking advantage of the fact that it is one of the most reasonable beach cities that's still left. When you go to South Bay, or if you go to Newport, south or north, you're going to actually end up paying double or maybe triple. So people are actually taking notice that this does allow a nice beach, a nice shore, beach life that they've always wanted, that they can end up getting for under, $2 million, living right by the beach. So that's another, we're seeing a lot of people flock over here, which is why the prices are going up as well. I'm trying to think what other areas. Also, there's another area that me and my sister cover a lot, which is also, it's called View Park. It's close, it sits on a nice, you have beautiful views. It's kind of in the very center of Los Angeles. But you're also getting very, very large homes, large lots, and for under $2 million. And we're talking, you get over 4,000 square feet on a 10,000 square foot lot, with original charm, Spanish style, things of that sort, which a lot of people are looking for that kind. home as well. Stuff that has original charm but has been updated. Those have been huge and they're flying off of the market shelves. Modern homes. People love modern homes. They love HGTV. That's what's happened. All the flip shows that are on there. Everyone wants that perfectly put together home. So I would say a combination of the type of home, the land that's there. People are looking for work home spaces. So if it grants you enough space to be able to work at your home, to be able to, if you have a family, for your kids to be able to play, that's what people are looking for. So I would say those are kind of some of the hot spots. There's so many though, spots. We have a very vast amount of land, different types of properties. You have your valley areas, you have your beach areas, you have your city areas. It's just really based on where people want to be. But with people really looking for that work, home, fun space, because we are now living in a different day and age where you kind of have to collectively do all three, in one place, your home. You are seeing people take advantage and get their dream home. So some of the hot areas I would say right now, I know Encino and Sherman Oaks, which is just a little north from like the Beverly Hills area. So it's considered the valley. And, you can get all this land. You can get a huge, 4,000 square foot home for under $3 million. You're not really seeing that in some of these other areas for how close in proximity it is to, like I said, the Beverly Hills area, West Hollywood, and things of that sort. So people are taking advantage of that. They are also taking advantage of moving close to the beach. One of the most reasonable beach cities right now is Long Beach. You go to, say, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, or just go south to Newport Beach, and you're paying about, double or triple the price of a home on the water that you would pay for in Long Beach. So, and you're getting the same amount of space, the same amount of, lot space. So people are taking advantage of that. Let's see.
I know the inventory is a little bit tight. What are you finding when you're working with buyers in the luxury market? How are they reacting, and how are you assisting them, beyond looking on the MLS or whatnot? Like, what are you finding to be the most successful way to help people find homes or beat out these other offers? What's been your reaction? I know as a listing agent, when you get the marketing right and you get the price right, oftentimes your job is to just negotiate and help your client pick which is the best offer, and you're having multiple offers. So you can use your expertise to get them to the highest level and help your client pick which one. When you're working with luxury buyers and they're seeing that the inventory is pretty tight, and they say, hey, Natasha, what do we do? How do we beat out these other offers, or how do we find markets that are coming soon, or homes that are coming soon, or off-market properties? What's kind of been your go-to advice for them on that end, considering the inventory level that we're at?
Right. Well, I'm always just very real and transparent, and love being on the listing side, by the way. I love it's smooth selling. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's smooth selling, but it is in a way. But as far as being able to guide clients through what's happening right now, just telling them, really letting them know, hey, we got to put our best foot forward. There's people that are waiving appraisal contingencies or waiving inspections. Now, that's not something that I advise, but maybe we'll get a little creative with our offer, and maybe we shorten, condense our time frames dramatically, because I know that I feel confident in who I would refer to them to get, the things they need done, such as, physical inspections and things of that sort. Or maybe waiving the appraisal up to a certain amount if that's something that they feel comfortable with and they are capable of doing. So really just identifying what's happening right now is I'm really telling our clients to identify your must-haves, what you can live with, and what is an absolute deal breaker. Because that's, I mean, you might not get the perfect place right now, but you might get something that it's something you can live with right now that you'll grow into.
Sure.
So just really, if it's something that they really want, just identifying what their actual strengths are as a buyer and really trying to maximize on that and letting them know, hey, this is going to be the game plan, and we just have to really put our best foot forward. Also, you know, it is a little hard right now because a lot of listing agents are not very responsive, but when they are, it's really just finding out exactly what the seller is looking for, and not in a way where we're saying, hey, you know, what's going to get the deal done, but indirectly kind of asking that and just really probing to see exactly what it is that the seller will, you know, what kind of seller is it? Is it someone who is very, they're more focused on who they're going to pass the torch over to and take, you know, possession of their home, and who's going to, you know, is that person going to cherish it, or is it all about money? You know, it's just really about identifying that, conveying it to the client and saying, hey, well, this is what I think our game plan should be based on that.
Sure.
You know, the feedback that I received. Additionally, it's tapping into the off-market network. You know, that's why when you mentioned having a huge network of agents, it's so important. It is so important. So tapping into that, which I have a ton of agent network. The agent network out here in Los Angeles is huge. I need to grow mine. I don't need to grow mine out there because I have you.
Sure,
I hand the clients over to you, and you have your network out there. But out here in Los Angeles County and Orange County, even the Inland Empire, I have a very huge network of agents. So it depends on, you know, where they're looking, and see who has what off market. And you know, present it to the client. I've actually done that several times. I've had friends who had coming soons where I presented it to the client before, and they had the chance to go and preview it before. So that's something that I'm offering, that me and my sister are offering together. We're also doing things a little different and actually going after the type of properties that our clients want on our own. We're actually sending out letters to they're not sellers, but we would hope that they would become sellers. So exactly, to owners.
Prospective sellers.
Prospective sellers, exactly. Yeah, so we're having, we've collaborated with our title people and, you know, getting lists from them to be able to identify exactly what our clients are looking for, and then from there send those out. And we've gotten, you know, some feedback, and we've actually been able to schedule showings and things of that sort. So yeah, that's something that we're doing. We're stepping outside of the box because right now is a pretty interesting time for buyers, very competitive.
Well, it's interesting you make that comment, because I just the last listings that I sold, and I helped a buyer sell a property and buy something else, and then I had another listing, and out of the four escrows that I had last month, 3 of them were off market. I represented one off market for a listing, investment property, one for my clients who are selling a home and finding a replacement home. And the replacement home I found with just that of calling a broker that I knew had a good inventory level. And I said, hey, this is what we're looking for. Do you have anything coming up? And I think that if we had pursued that house and it was on the market, that my clients probably would have had to pay about $20,000 or $25,000 more. And they would have had to compete against other offers that didn't have to sell their home, you know, that were all cash, or that were, you know, that had a great down payment, didn't have to sell a home. So I think it's actually more important now to work with an agent like yourself, because you have that network, not only of agents, but knowing which agents to reach out to. Because if you're a buyer and you just start calling agents and you say, hey, you know, do you have this? Hey, do you have that? One, you're going to have a lot of those agents reaching back to you to gain you as a client that you might not necessarily want. You just want to work with the person that you like working with, but you want to find that house. And so I think it's even more important now to think outside that box, like you're saying with the letters, or calling other agents in your network to find the kind of home that people are looking for as a buyer. One thing that'd be interested to hear from you, I know we're talking about the real estate and investing and how the market's shifting, and there's definitely some shifts here. But I'm just curious from a personal perspective, a professional that has gone through a mindset shift, and I know as myself being an agent of working for yourself and being responsible for your income versus getting a paycheck, let's say. And I think that there's a trend, especially with the younger generation, of having a little bit more of that in their lives, of having that ownership of having a small business, whether it's in marketing or finance or whatever. I just think that with the growth of the internet, there's been a lot more encouragement to go into business for oneself versus go through that classic high school, university degree, and then a job, which there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's a great space to go into if it's something you're really passionate about. But I think even more, there are resources now that can propel you, like yourself, to be your own boss in a way and really get into an industry that allows for you to be a totally different person in that you can grow a lot more. What would your advice, be for people who, who are in business right now and struggling, and also people that might be wanting to get into business or revamp their business or grow their personal brand? What's your take on that? What's worked for you, and what would your advice be for people that are interested in that?
Well, go for it. Go for it.
Like Nike, just do it.
Yeah, you just do it. But you really have to set a plan, write it down, set your goals, seek out mentorship. It's huge in the areas that you want to succeed. Really study the areas that you want to succeed in, and just put your pedal to the metal. You have to become an expert in your industry. You always have to be a student. So as you're a student and you're gaining knowledge, you're transferring this information over to people who seek the information from you. So it's so important. I think even during this time, we kind of took that on level 1,000 because, we were in a very uncertain time with what was happening with COVID. And so, we made it a vow to be the experts of our industry, the voice of reason, coming from a heart of service. When this first even began, when the lockdown happened, at the end of the day, we're people that are doing, we're helping other people. So we actually just came from a heart of service, and just when this first happened, it wasn't even real estate related, but we reached out to our past clients, our current clients, prospective clients in our sphere, and just said, hey, is there anything that we can do for you? And it wasn't real estate related. It was just being there and being human. So I would say, just you have to come from, people have to see your heart, and they have to know that you're being genuine and that you're truly interested in helping them. So, that along with becoming an expert in your field and being that voice, I think those are, if you can get those down, then I think you'll do pretty well. And you just have to stay focused. Consistency, that's a huge thing. Sure. Being consistent and doing the things that you don't want to do at a high level when you don't want to do them. It's so important. And even with this shift that happened, last year was a pretty, it was different because all of my stuff was face-to-face in person. All of my business had come from open houses and door knocking. That just was my thing. It still is my thing. I love it, but I can't do it. I haven't been able to do it since March. So being also able to shift. So, identifying and seeing exactly what your goals are, what you're trying to do, and looking at ways, testing out ways that work and that don't work, and really just putting 80% into that 20%. Is that what it is? Sure. Putting 80% into the 20% of what is working for you. if that
Sure.
makes sense, or 100%. I don't know what the figures are, but
I think
just putting all
it's
your
the
energy.
80 or 20% of your clients give you 80% of your business or something like that.
Yeah,
But that
that's
sounds
yeah,
right. Put
right. But
80%
I'm
of your
trying
effort
to.
into the 20%. Don't focus on the 80%. I don't know. We're just talking math. We'll have to get chart. We'll
Right,
have
I
to
know, I
like
know.
post edit this one with a bunch of numbers and charts and percentages and graphs and pie charts. So we'll follow. We'll
Right,
do the editor.
right.
Add that in.
Yes, there we go, there we go. But yeah, I mean, you just yeah, you have to just keep going. You have to keep going, and you have to the negative thoughts, because they're gonna come. They come all the time.
Sure.
So something that has helped me also is putting affirmations on my phone that just pop up everywhere, randomly. Having just in my living space, just having different things that my goals, having positive things that I want to happen in my life. Praying is huge for me. I live a faith-based life, so prayer has really helped me out.
It's amazing the practical application of faith, how oftentimes it seems very ethereal, but when you are in a space where you have to have faith, it's like that farmer that plants the seed, waters it, and after the end goes, okay, this is going to bear fruit, enough fruit to survive and enough seed for the future crop. Having that faith of, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning and water and keep that cultivation going. It's amazing how the practical application of faith comes into use in life. So where can people find you if they want to reach out and ask questions on investing in LA, or if they have a desire to list their home, or if they're buyers in kind of the marketplace that you work in? What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure. You can reach me on Instagram. Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Real Estate by Natasha. It's just how it sounds. And also my sister's group is the Reneau Group. So you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. It is the Reneau Group right here.
And I'm sure that if you go through some awesome luxury homes, you probably take some pictures so people can see some pretty cool houses. So just to follow and see that would be, I'm sure, pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, thanks for taking the
resource.
time.
We're a resource, so I said we're a resource. So no matter what,
Sure.
people can always just feel free to reach out to us. Don't be scared off by, oh, they only do this, luxury and investments. No, we do everything.
Sure. Well, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it. I'm glad that we could hop on. I know it's a different world now with this Zoom, but I'm glad that we could connect and use the technology and add value to everyone. So thanks for hopping on.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for having me, Josh, and look forward to doing some business together soon.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.